Welcome. This is Ari Kopel. This is Shattering the Matrix on Blog Talk Radio. Just wanted to welcome you all to the show. We've had a couple of difficulties starting, but I thought today would be a good day to address a lot of things that I guess need addressing. There's a slew of information just coming out everywhere, sprouting like weeds, I would say. And it's mostly having to do with our reality, where we're at with respect to timelines, where we're at with respect to, a fifth dimensional Earth, where we're at in respect to an ascension, a transformation of humanity. And I'm one of those that, of course, want to very much have this manifest. Like I'm sure most of you are. Otherwise, you may not be on this call. Or unless you're on this call because you're curious what the heck I have to say, right? But my observation, and again, I'm not an expert in a field. I do not teach a class. I have not written a book specifically addressing this, or any of that. But I do have many years of experiential activities in my life where I can say yay or nay to something based on the fact that it doesn't hold true to my knowing based on my experiences, which have been real to me anyway. So that brings on this other aspect of it. So there's a lot of information coming out, specifically about the Archons and the Matrix, humanity being duped, which is very, very clear. If a person is just even half awake, they could pretty much determine by now that humanity has been sold a lemon. Okay, when they thought they were getting the wonderful car in the showroom, they were actually sold the lemon, the one that is faulty, the one that doesn't work as well. It was a bait and switch type of situation. We were told one thing, and in reality, it's something else. And a lot of it comes from, material that people are sharing on the internet that hold a certain posture in reference to where we're at, where humanity is at, where the planet is at, and it is just so much easier to hold on to that notion than to really look at the ugly stuff that's happening around, creeping up behind us, because we're looking the other way, chasing the carrot that somebody put there on purpose to keep us from looking behind us. So I'm noticing that there is a lot of commenting. I particularly own a site called 2012emergence.com. And it's not just that site, it's all the other sites, and a lot of them are social media type sites that talk about things like this. And when there's a blog that's posted in reference to the feel-good stuff, well, everybody jumps on board and makes all these wonderful enlightened comments and things like that. But then when somebody posts something that is really hard to look at, very uncomfortable, rustles people's feathers, then the comments are very, they're all over the place. And then everybody comes in with their own truths. And what I've noticed is that there are probably more truths out there than there are people, and more truths out there than there are hair on the people's heads. where there's a truth for this and a truth for that and a truth for that, and this truth will hold true only if this holds true. And then this is being spread, and so there is so much information that, you know, what I can say is that if you just, you know, what we need to do is reboot. Basically, we just need to clear our motherboard, or just put in a new motherboard and just start from scratch, is pretty much it, because it's so convoluted, so infiltrated with viruses, you know, specifically put in there by the hackers. And who are the hackers? Well, you know, they're these forces that are obviously in direct opposition to the light forces, that are now even stating that the Akashic records have been compromised. Not to say that it hasn't been, but then to say who actually compromised them, which are the ones that supposedly uphold the light, and then to say that those are representing the half-light, or the dim light, or the fallen light. It's, again, disinformation about the disinformation about the disinformation, and it's almost like I'm looking at a political party at work. You know, the Democrats are dissing the Republicans are dissing the Democrats, the Libertarians are dissing them as well, and so you don't know, you know, what is what. And so we're just so paying attention to the exterior, you know, what's going on, the information that's being given by exterior forces, that we've forgotten that we have a direct line, a direct channel with information to begin with uncorrupted information. So as we go outside to use our radios, to listen to music that's picking up all kinds of frequencies from other radio channels, and so you're not getting a really clear reception, it is a lot better to basically go into the radio station, or just link, you know, if you have a direct frequency to that radio station, as opposed to maybe the radio channel that you're using. Maybe your information might be clearer, your music might come in clearer, the broadcast comes in clearer. And so it's kind of like getting rid of all the noise around you and all the information that's coming in that is just so difficult to handle, because it's given to you on purpose to shatter your truth, to shatter your whatever you have left of what we call faith, whatever we have left of what we call hope. And a lot of it is, you know, maybe we're holding on to old paradigms of, you know, old belief systems that will no longer serve us, that will not allow us to progress, to really understand what's keeping us in place, because these old paradigms were put in place to begin with to keep the wool over our eyes. So we can't, you know, we can't just discard that as what's happening. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of information that is, you know, in reality true, that is embedded within that, because that's the way how they get us to begin with. And then we need to be able to hold on to those gems and those truisms through our ability to discern this once we connect directly to that source of information. And so what I'm saying is that just we need to stop this clutter of information that is coming from everywhere, because everywhere, you know, that you go, there is a new radio station like this one. There's a new blog post or blog websites up, new characters and personalities that are popping up with information. And a lot of them are just disseminating information that they're getting from elsewhere, which is already corrupt information. And so it has us basically chasing our own tails, because we are just giving our power away to others, because we don't really think that we have it. We really think that we still are trying to attain something. We're trying to attain perfection, attain an ascension, attain our ticket out of here. You know, it's always about attaining something, because we're not complete. You know, when we in reality are complete. We just have to, number one, we have to obviously realize that. And two, then start behaving like that. But we're not behaving like that at all. Everything is externalized. From having to go to ceremonies, to having to go to workshops, because some person that has built a reputation for themselves and has written a book or has done a DVD or multiple DVDs is holding a workshop, and he must know or she must know what they're talking about, because it wouldn't be as popular. So you know what? Hey, it's worth my $300, $500, thousands of dollars to go and sit down and hear what they have to say so that I can be enlightened. When all along, you may have had information and experiences in your life that may have enlightened that person. That person is maybe just all intellectual information acquired through observation and through piecing the puzzles, pieces of the puzzles together. Not that you wouldn't have been able to, but it's sometimes not even necessary to piece the puzzles together to get a clear picture. It's great, but if you can function from that knowing, that inner confidence of who you are, because you're connecting directly to Source, which is your source of power, your source of knowledge, your source of wisdom, your source of well-being. Once you're there, then you're functioning from that divinity that you are to begin with. We just bought the story that we were corrupt, that we're part of the fallen plan, that we're defective, that we need to somehow come back over and over and over and over and over again to learn many lessons, to experience hardship, to learn a lot of lessons, so that we can earn our way back. That is something that was, again, information that was hacked, that was implanted into the software program of this world to keep us believing that we're less than, to keep us and then searching for something externalized because we're not worthy, because we're corrupt, because we're faulty. So everyone, from what I see, has their understanding of what reality is, their understanding of what spirituality is, their understanding of what God is. And it's very difficult to shake a person off from that reality. Some people finally come to the observation and that something is this way, because they're all seeing a pattern, and therefore they will all agree, hey, this is the way it looks like now. And then there's some that just won't buy into it, because buying into that would mean letting go of these belief systems. That's the only thing that's kept them sane and has allowed them to cope with a very, very hard life. So it's very difficult to shake some people off from certain belief systems. And then you have those that have had the traditional belief systems, like in traditional religion and such, and then they discover a break in the prison, which is, spirituality or New Age. And they embrace that, and it starts working for them, because they can now understand things from a higher perspective, and they can start naming all the bad stuff that was happening to them, and now they can start looking forward to a change. But after a while, it doesn't really work, because it's a matrix, and they're giving you the solutions based on faulty software to begin with. So those people have a very hard time letting go of information that they just newly acquired, because if it's not this one and it wasn't the other one, then oh my God, oh my God, how do, it causes such a shattering of the persona, a shattering of what they're all about and where they're going, that it's too much to bear. So they'll fight to the very end to hold those truths in place, regardless of whether the truth is really in front of them, presenting by even the creator, him or herself, because it's just too much to bear. It's too painful to let go of a newly acquired set of belief systems that, even though they're faulty, it works for them for now. It's almost like a Band-Aid, and they don't want to let go of the Band-Aid. They don't want to see the wound. So we're dealing with all of that. And what is the answer? Again, I really believe that we really need to come together at some point in unity and come into an understanding that this whole paradigm that we called 3D experience on Earth is really a Truman show. Some beings, wherever they may be, that have hijacked this program, are really having a heck of a time watching us struggle and watching us try to figure it out, and giving us, throwing more left curves and more situations and more hurdles to climb over and jump over, and we're totally clueless, and we want to remain clueless, because knowing the truth is so painful that we don't want to even go there, many of us. So it takes courageous people to actually be willing to clean their slate, clean their belief systems to zero. I mean, we're wiping it clean. I'm not coming in from any preconceived idea, any preconceived belief system. I am going to reboot my system. My total belief system is down to a clean slate, and I'm starting from scratch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be tuning in to the source that provides all the truisms, the correct information, where it's not corrupt, where it hasn't been compromised. There's basically that firewall protecting it from getting hijacked or getting viruses that contaminate the information. So, and I've had to do that, folks. I mean, and it's not just me personally in my ability to create, my belief system now, but in reality, in my world, I use that with my computer system. My computer systems, I don't know how many computer hardware I have had to go through, that it's compromised continuously, because I'm always downloading information, trying to disseminate information for others, and so I get and then there's people that are not absolutely of integrity in the sites, so they go in with a pretense that they're here to learn spirituality, when in reality they're hijackers and they're hackers, and they're spies, and they work for the cabal, and that's to be expected. So they'll do everything possible to make my work a little bit more difficult. So therefore, that means that I must be on the right track. But I don't know how many times I've had to reboot my system, take out the old operating system, put in the disk, and start the operating system again from scratch, where it hasn't been compromised, or set it back to the time when it was actually working. Because there's so much stuff that's attached, little bits of information that just corrupt the whole system, slows it down, becomes sluggish, the internet stops working, and you know how that works, because you guys are obviously have that kind of technology in your homes as well. So I'm not speaking something that is not unfamiliar to you, and it's no different than the system that we use for our own spiritual growth, to decipher what's true or not true. When stuff starts becoming so overwhelmingly polluted with information, and buried in there are the truisms, and they've been hijacked by incorrect information so that you swallow it a little better. But you know what? When you take that in and then you wait a little while, and then you see, you know what? That is not functioning. That was said has not come true. And then when you even see the people that are the teachers, supposedly the ones that are the leaders, that are supposedly know a little more than we have, only because maybe they've read more, or they've experienced more, or they've had more direct contact. And these are also bringing in information from quoting others that are bringing in this information that is incorrect, including channeled material, which is totally compromised in my opinion, because none of it comes directly from source. It comes from some other source that comes in through some other source. You don't have to believe me. What I'm saying is just basically observe it yourself. Observe what I'm saying to you. Observe that none of the things that seem like really pretty and beautiful words and information that we all have embraced at one point, because we really, we come from a place of good intention. We come from a place of really, our original reason of being here was to come in and help. So we want nothing more than to have this world turn around, and then so that we can go and do our, go about our business, going wherever we need to go next. But none of the stuff that's been promised or talked about in any of the channeled work, or any other work, has really come true, or has come to pass, or is even getting close. As a matter of fact, it just keeps us, again, chasing the carrot, keeps us away, from looking away from the reality that there's things that are lurking in the corners, and that are creeping in very cleverly to further compromise the freedom of mankind and womankind on this planet. So it serves, and I always call it, it's a spiritual opium, because as long as we're feeling good about it and we're thinking we're making progress, we're not addressing the true issues as to, what is keeping the planet not only dark and dense, but darker and denser. And that has been our role all along, really, to address these issues, because it really cannot, it's addressed at some level from the higher levels, because these are battles and wars fought in the higher realms against these powers and principalities. But then these powers and principalities also, manifest in the denser world, and it takes bodies, physicality, to address it here. Otherwise, you would see the angels and archangels, I guess, manifesting. And now the other information is that the angels and archangels they don't serve the highest light. And see, it's taking, again, a truism and putting a falsity along with that. There are angels and there are archangels, which I don't choose those words to name them, that do not work for the highest light, the light of Supreme Prime Creator, which is the true light. All right, but there are others that pretend to be angels and archangels that work for the opposition, that come across as beautiful beings. They come across with wonderful words, and a lot of those words are embellished, because they cannot really shine the light. They don't vibrate to the same level of vibration of that love, that purity. So they overcompensate with other things that make you feel good as well. And those are embellished words and embellished truisms and things like that. And so if you're not discerning, and you cannot be discerning if you haven't connected directly to source to see these things for yourself, then you will believe pretty much anything that's put in front of you, especially if it looks good. Gosh, it looks like an angel, feels like an angel, makes me feel good. Oh, by golly, it's an angel, and by golly, it's an archangel, and by golly, it's a positive ET. And so these are the things that are being used today as a means of infiltrating the ranks of light workers and light bearers and way showers that have, made a tremendous sacrifice to come into a planet like this one, risking pretty much everything, including remembering who they are, being sucked up into the matrix, into the illusion in this reality, not possibly not ever waking up. Those are the major risks of coming into a density and coming into an embodiment. But those of you that are listening again to this show have obviously remembered at some point. The problem is that you're not remembering totally, because part of it is that that you're supposed to be listening to that one source. And the only way you do that is you shut off all the other exterior noises, which includes all the books and the channels and the teachers and the lectures and the workshops and the having to go to this conference and to a certain vortex and you guys have all been compromised as well. All of us have. We all have, and we are all guilty of this. But I'm telling you that that's not functioning. I'm telling you that we are on a path of derailment if we continue on this track. We need to get off this track, and we need to do things correctly for once, if we're going to do it at all. Because we're really running out of time. It's almost like it's a cancer that's metastasizing, and if we don't do something severe, then there's nothing that we could do at any further point that could turn it around in enough time to be able to help humanity the way it's supposed to have been helped to begin with. So pretty much, I don't want our, experience here, although many of us probably have wonderful experiences and are of a posture saying that, hey, it's been great no matter what. It's a great way to look at it. But, the mission in reality was very specific. And if we are not addressing that, then, and we need to do it in together. We need to do that in unison, whatever that is, and I know what that is, but this is not maybe the show to address it. But we do need to do this in unison, meaning we need to be on the same page about what has to be done. We need to stop the arguments and the cleverness that occurs, and the up one-manship of to show how much spiritual knowledge you've attained, what a mastering and guru you are, and then when I see these people also that attach all these accolades, attainments, physical 3D attainments after their names, it's just it's interesting to watch how we've all fallen for that, because we need to justify our existence. We need to justify who we are on this plane. It's time to create our new world. It's time to manifest that new world. It does not happen by just one person doing it, and it doesn't happen by wishing it. It's actual active work. It is work. If you even know the first steps of manifestation, how these occur, that's what needs to occur. We need to manifest. We need to write that new software program, because once we erase and we reboot, we need to put the correct software program in there. Not only for ourselves, but we need to reboot this planet. And if we can't reboot the planet, then we need to write the software together and force it in there, hack it back in. You know, and I know it's like, what the heck are you talking about? I understand, but there is a process, and it is a manifestation process that has to happen, and it happens just like these the ones that are doing all the evil work on this planet use the same techniques. Because they've studied how to manifest things, and they know how it works. And the funny part is that they're in unison. They're all on the same page. They all have the same focus, and the same focus is, and same intent is, that they want to, enslave humanity. They want to bring on this new world order. They want to get rid of pretty much the majority of the population on Earth. They want, a civilization of slaves where they're all powerful ones, and they have all these goons and minions that are carrying out the plan based on promises of probably being in top rank positions in that new system. So they've got their stuff together. We, on the other hand, are all over the place. We believe in this. We believe in that. We believe that if we look at the evil and address the evil, that we're bringing it on, that we're bringing into reality. I couldn't hear of a worse. Let's put it this way. That is probably one of the better lies I've heard. That you don't look, because if you look, you bring it upon, you create the world that if you set, your mind into something, or if you look at it long enough, you're bringing it into your reality. No, it's already in our reality. And believe me, there's a lot of us, if that's true, a lot of us that are not even looking, and that's the reason it's the way it is, that we're not even looking, and it's still manifesting this way. So it's obviously not working. All right? And, so we do have to address it, because they kind of fed us a lie, you think? Maybe? You think that would be to their advantage that we don't look? Do you think it would be if two countries are fighting each other in a war, would it be to one country's advantage to leak in information to the other side through maybe a double agent? And tell them that, the enemy's coming in from the south as opposed to the north, and they're looking at the south, they're getting all ready, and the opposition is coming from the other side. I mean, this is a war. It's the same tactics. All right? So it's into the opposition's benefit that we are complacent, that we don't want to look that way, that we've been given instructions and a set of guidelines, spiritual guidelines, that tell us not to look at the evil, not to address it. That if we spend too much time looking at it, that we bring it into reality, we manifest it. No, it's the opposite. We need to look at it. Doesn't mean that we're immersed in it and this is all we're thinking about, because we have to come up with solutions. We need to know that this stuff is going on so that we can, again, address it and come up with solutions. We cannot come up with solutions if then we don't even know that there's something to be addressed. And by not looking at it and allowing it to go rampant is total it's a total sense of irresponsibility on our part. On top of that, we are helping the opposition. We're allowing this to flourish. We're allowing this to perpetually hold humanity in bondage. So what does it take to actually realize that? Does it really take somebody like me to come and say this in a Blog Talk radio program? Does not anyone see this? And I know that there are many, because we have many members on that website, and I'm sure there's other websites that also address this. But I'm thrown back by how many more there are that are of the belief that we need to do nothing, that we just we meditate, we hold space, we just hold the love and light. We do good deeds. That's all that we need to do, and that is not all we need to do. Because if this is all we needed to do, really, first of all, I just don't feel that maybe that bodies were even necessary at that point. But obviously, whatever it is that is being done by the majority of people that think that this is what needs to be done is obviously not working. So if it's not working, do you think we need to find other tactics, other solutions? So the solution would be, in my 2 cents of opinion here, would be to do the steps of manifestation so that we can create the new reality we want, just like the opposition is creating that reality, which is the darkness, enfolding the whole planet with the darkness and evil intent towards humanity, by doing the exact same things. And specifically, they do it on dates that are meaningful, that are very powerful, because they've already created shall we say, a force field, a magnetic attraction, or a magnification portal, I guess, during those dates that are where they just create evil and havoc and everything on those days. They invoke the demonic entities. They do all kinds of things on those days. So we could use the same days to counteract the effect of what they're doing. By standing together on the same page, by not having any preconceived ideas as to that my knowledge is better than yours because I have 40 years of experience of meditating and contacting the ascended ones, and I don't want to hear that. That's wonderful that you have had those experiences and all that wonderful stuff, but you alone, by yourself, are not making a dent. Okay, not a dent. So we need to stand together in understanding that we need to use our God-given powers. We need to stand in our God-given authority, knowing that we are co-creators, that we can eradicate this darkness by manifesting the world that we want. We need to stand together on this because they are. And they're creating the world we do not want. And they're standing together. They're not arguing about it. At least we don't know about it, because obviously they're being very effective. Their manifestation skills are very effective. So it tells me that they're standing together, okay, in unity, in their intent, in their focus. They're doing it on specific dates, on specific times, on specific areas. And that's what they're doing. They're all focused. They're not scattered all over the place like we are. And they're not, it's like, okay, not only do I see a plethora of different philosophies and spiritual beliefs, and then we're fighting amongst ourselves to see which one has the best knowledge and the most experience and who has the last word. I am appalled. There is no way that we're going to have victory if we are divided. We need to stand together. That's all there is to it. Either we do this or we fail. There really is no other way. I don't see an exit strategy. I don't see how this is going to turn around by itself, by us not being involved, by us not getting our fingers and dirty, okay, by us not wanting to see that this is what's happening, by us continually holding on to faulty belief systems that have been given to us by the opposition to keep us from looking at them, from keeping us from seeing, first of all, what they are, what they're up to, and how they're coming in, how they're taking over this planet. And if you're listening to this message and you're still holding on to those belief systems, you still want to do that, then you know what? First of all, we need all of us to do this. We cannot just be scattered and 3 people say yay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm in. It's not going to work. It's got to be. There has to be a certain percentage of us doing this to make this work. And if you're one of those that don't see it, and it was you that didn't allow us to get to that point, then we've pretty much might as well just pack up our bags. because they're so organized. People, they're so organized. They're organized. They've got their thing together. They've got it together. We've been infiltrated, and we're holding on to propaganda that's been given to us to keep us divided. And I'm asking you to go inside and connect with your divine self, to your divine creator, the one that does not lie to you, and find out if what I'm saying to you is incorrect. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to do your due diligence, to go in and connect directly with the pure information as given by source, to start using your discernment based on that information, not on external information, not on your friends, not on your favorite teacher, not on your favorite author, not on the lecturer, not because you heard it on a YouTube video. I'm asking you to go inside and get it directly from source. And then you'll understand that what I'm saying is absolutely correct. Because I have gotten that information from source. And if you're not getting it the same, and I'm pretty sure that if you all do the same that I'm asking you to do, that you'll probably be on the same page, then I'm going to be putting up on the 2012emergence.com website instructions on how to do the manifestation. So I strongly urge all of you to sign up. It's a free membership for now because they're trying to increase our hosting prices and stuff, but we'll take care of that later. But right now we need to take care of business here. It's free to sign up. It's 2012emergence.com, and then just go to a group that will be created today called Shattering the Matrix, and in there will be all the instructions that we need to follow to be able to manifest, to be able to create the new world that we want to see, and counteract the attacks and the manifestation that they're doing, which is manifesting a world we don't want. We cannot stand the world. We cannot. Let's put it this way: we cannot allow the world that is in existence now to continue, let alone for it to get worse. There's a lot of beings, all sentient beings, that are being hurt, slaughtered, maimed, tortured. Not only human beings and children. We're talking about women, the defenseless women, men. Caught in the middle of war and just hatred, acts of hatred. Children, with all kinds of things that are happening to the children, disappearing and child trafficking and pedophilia and all kinds of things. What about the sentient beings like whales and dolphins and other animals that are being slaughtered? Our planet being slaughtered. Pollution and oil spills, the chemtrails. Are we really going to stand by and really think that by dreaming and just wishing it's going to go away? The power of manifestation of the dark side is extremely powerful and extremely organized and extremely disciplined, something that we're not. So do they have, better tools, better weapons? No, they don't. We have the exact same weapons. They just know how to use it correctly. They are an organized force, a military force, used by the dark side. Okay, basically the dark side is organized. The good side, the light side, the side that represents the creator, God, creator, Mother, Father, God, however you would like to address the Supreme Creator, has beings that come in, first of all, with amnesia, and then when they finally learn who they are, the information is skewed. It's compromised on purpose by the dark ones, so that we don't remember who we are, so that we get faulty information. So we start following different rabbit holes, go down different rabbit holes and different trails that don't really lead us to the one source. Thinking that because we're, the false information about Adam and Eve and that we're fallen and all that stuff, that, we need a source outside of ourselves to grant us permission to enter the gates of heaven. That we need to enter this world 100 million times to learn all these lessons and suffer and get raped and maimed and killed and suffer through cancers and suffer through this and poverty and all things, so that we can learn our lessons. This is all part of the faulty program of the hijacked software. And at some point in time, I'm hoping that you can see through this. That you can see through the lies. And that we are all on the same page. We need to stand united. And we need to have one intent and one focus. And that is to rewrite the history of this planet, to rewrite the software of this planet, so that going forward, we've manifested the world we want. And it takes all of us to do that. It doesn't take just me saying it. It doesn't take two of you who got it. It takes all of us to do this. Please don't be that one person that makes us fail. Please go, when you go meditate or pray, connect directly to Source. Shut down the computer and reboot. Get rid of all the junk information, the viruses, all the fragments, okay, of stuff that just that's been put in there on purpose. All right, and if you need to, just get a brand new, a hard disk drive, clean, and start from scratch. And connect directly to Source and get your information from there. Right? I'm in here to win. And what I'm saying is, I want this planet to be a claim back for the light. I want humanity to be free, and I want humanity to experience all the wonders that happen when you're part of a world that is part of the galactic system, the planetary system of illumined and peaceful worlds that exist in the universe. It's not going to happen while we're all in a prison planet, in a planet that's been compromised like this. It's not going to happen. And it takes humanity to call this forth. It takes humanity to bring about this change. And we're humanity now. That's what we decided to do, to become humanity, to be part of it. So it takes us, because we're the big brothers and sisters, the ones that know better. It takes us to do this. Okay, nobody else is going to do this for us. Okay, everybody's watching. Yes, they're all watching to see, okay, when is this going to happen? When are they all going to get together and realize that we're really all one, and we're all one because we all have the same intent and the same focus? But the oneness of being togetherness and thinking that we're all one, and that the murderer and the one who's maiming and the one that's creating the agendas is run by the same software program as we are is incorrect information. And they want you to think that we're all one. We're not. We don't come from the same software company, let's say. So we really need to speed things up. I'm asking you, please, to join us in these endeavors of writing our the new history of Earth. It takes, it takes all of us to do this, but you really need to connect directly with Source and be brave enough to be willing to let go of all the information that you've learned up to now and be willing to start fresh. And the way you start fresh is not getting any information from any source that is of Earth. All that information has a very high probability of being contaminated. So I'm asking you to go directly to source and get your information there. If you cannot go to source by now, then everything you have done is totally, worthless, because everything you would have or should have learned by now through whatever path you've taken for your spirituality should have led you to be able to do that. So if you cannot, at this point in time in your life, in your spiritual path, have not been able to communicate to source, or to beings of true light that work with source, then something is not right, and then you need to question that. So, you really need to question that. But question that you must. And there's no more time of looking away, pretending that things are not happening. They are happening, with you or without you. Okay? They're happening. So it's better that we all learn from the enemy, learn from the opposition, that they are very organized, that they are very disciplined, that they do things right, they're all on the same page, they all have the same focus and the same intent, and their manifestation process is working. Can we at least learn that? As they keep us looking away, they're doing all of those things, and it's creating a world, yes, but not the world we want. So can we finally say that, gee, maybe what we were doing all along just might have been compromised, and it's just not working to improve things at all. Let me then reboot and connect to source and see if I finally get the right information. And so I invite you all to do that, and then to, of course, go to 2012emergence.com. You can register or join there. It'll ask you a couple of questions to make sure you're a person, and you will be approved to get in to join the site. There's a lot of information in there. And then you need to go into the tab where it says Groups, and just find the one that says Shattering the Matrix. It will have all the information that you need in reference to the steps for manifesting that we need to do in unison. And the dates that we're planning on doing this is specifically June 8th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when we're going to be doing this in unison. The reason being is that that's the time frame that the Bilderberg meeting is happening. It's happening from the 6th through the 9th, but I will probably specifically be on the air on the 8th, where we can do this together on the air. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope it has not been a very lengthy conversation, but it's something that I just wanted to do for a while, and just speak my mind and let you know where I'm at with things. But these are it's a subject matter that is just not easy, and everybody's all over the place with this as to their understandings and what they're willing to accept and not accept. And then again, it's because a lot of people just don't want to let go of the information that is keeping them, at least giving them some kind of meaning, understanding, bearings into a world that is just very difficult. But again, it's information that's steering your ship down the wrong course, and so we just kind of need to reboot that ship and get it back on course, and that way you can be more effective. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Again, this is Ari Kopel. The program is Shattering the Matrix on Blog Talk Radio.